the thing that's been interesting in terms of thinking about this for me has been, like, for example, like when we saw that discussion with, I know you probably the discussion between Elon Musk and Tucker Carlson, where he basically, brought up that term and said that the head of Google had literally told him that they're building a god, like that this is the way they're conceiving of it. So the idea that we're conspiracizing about how the people even involved in this space are discussing this, it seems we're not. Like this seems to be the mode of language, like you said, that is being used even by the actors that are involved in the process. Probably not all the actors, but at least some of the important ones. Mm-hmm. And so one of the difficulties that happens is in terms of, when you have materialists, people that don't understand something like vertical causality or don't totally conceive of it, what they end up with is a confusion between something like authority and power, you could say, or intelligence and power, right? And I see that that's a confusion that has been really pervasive, is that just because something is very powerful doesn't make it a god. The notion of God, or a god, even in a pagan sense, is related to principality. That is, it is something like, more like a king. It's something that gives form, or manages cohesion, right? It's like the top of a pattern that you notice, right? So it's like you see that war has certain patterns, and it has a kind of agency that you can't avoid, right? It's like once the agency takes grip of you, you can't just say, oh, well, we could, when you hear people say really ridiculous things like that, like, why don't we just all stop fighting? Like, if we just all stop fighting, then war would end. It's like, yeah, that's obviously ridiculous. Once the pattern sets in, it's like the same with the arms race. Like, why don't we just stop the arms race? Let's just stop it. Oh, great. Let's us, whoever that is, stop it. There are ways in which patterns, when they get a grip on you, they play out. And so when we notice that, then we see that there's a way of, like, it reveals itself to us, and that's where a lot of the old gods, that's what they are, right? They are an agency that appears from above and that manages a certain amount of quantity, like a pattern of behavior, a certain space, a certain cohesion of people, like a local god, or sometimes it's just the ancestors, right? The ancestor is still there and acts on us through the fact that we have a common connection to them, and that he gives us identity. So people confuse that with just a lot of power, like, and this is what I think. I hope that confusion is true, because if people say God the way that the ancients thought of it, as a kind of principality that manages patterns over us, and that we're kind of like, for good or ill, like, we're the puppet things of the gods, or we're the food of the gods, right? If they see it that way, then I'm frightened beyond belief. Like, if someone would say that we're building a god in the sense that we're building something that will rule over us, that's the scariest thing ever. And so I'm hoping that there's this confusion, but we have to be able to dispel the difference between between something which manages from above and something which offers you. So the difference between a god and a genie, for example, right? Ooh. So the genie in the bottle, what it does is it offers you infinite potential for you to give intelligence to it. And so it asks you a question. What do you want? You tell it what you want, and then it offers infinite potential to realize it. And because of that, that's why you get the side effects too, because it offers too much power for your wish. Like, if your wish is something secondary, like I want a bunch of money, then it's like, okay, I'll give you infinite power to do that. And then all the side effects of it play themselves out, right? So anyways, that's something I just want to put that out there and see how you react to that.